It is Mahala Monday, and more importantly, good morning. And Rhoda's here.
Good morning. Welcome to Mahala Monday.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you,
Yeah, good to see all of you, and thank you very much for joining us. It is the 7th. It is June, so we are a week into Youth Month.
We are a week into Youth Month, and it's all about youth at the end of the day. And that's exactly what the two of us has been concentrating on. So quite excited about this month.
Yeah, very excited. I even look younger, which is
Almost
absolutely amazing. But be as it may, we're live, of course, as you know, on YouTube and on Facebook. And as always, this is an interactive show. So the show is all about you, and you're the one who makes it really tick. So we welcome your comments and questions. And of course, the details at the bottom of your screen at Nickay Productions. So we've been talking about this. It is Youth Month, and very, very excited about today's show because the youth is the future. Let's be very clear with that.
So
and we all know somebody who might be a teenager who possesses a huge amount of talent, whether that is acting, singing, dancing, just doing something. You know, we all have that one person in our family,
being
don't
a comedian, like somebody in the family.
But we all have that one person in the family, don't we?
That is so true, Dougal. There's always that one that's always singing so beautifully at the end of the day. And then there's also that one that thinks he sings beautifully, but he just needs a little bit of coaching and a little bit of talent just for somebody to come in and say, you know what, let me show you how to do this. You know, because sometimes, you know, the mommy will say, you sing so beautiful, and then you sitting here, you thinking to yourself, this kid's got some bad taste here.
And you know what? And you now coming straight into my conversation here because I'm bringing that up because you are one of those. You can sing apparently. I haven't heard of, but the point is, this is what is. But it is beautiful, right?
It is
and
beautiful.
sometimes, and let's be honest, we all don't have the opportunity to do it.
No, so true.
And especially in an industry that is really the pulse of and the reason we sometimes put smiles on our faces. It is really difficult, and we've all heard the rumors. It is sometimes a difficult industry. But we've all heard of things that we look forward to. So, and I want to mention 3 words here quickly. High School Jam. If you've never heard of, you've never seen it, oh boy, your life will change forever. Forever. Trust me on this. So, and this is what today is all about, because there's some wonderful people doing absolutely amazing things, taking the youth by the hand and, of course, equipping them with skills that really can change a life, but more importantly, inspire a generation and, of course, ultimately let them to live out their passion.
That is so true.
Yeah, so if you haven't yet heard of Inspired Stages, this is probably a highlight today. And I mean, this is like a career highlight for me personally on Mahala Monday, because we are going to be featuring Inspired Stages, and more importantly, we'll also be talking to Karen Bird.
That's
and
right.
She'll be joining us on Mahala Monday. So as always, we remind you, this is interactive at Nickay Productions, YouTube and Facebook. You join us for that. But before we get our special guest on board, let's quickly have a quick look at what Inspired Stages is all about.
Culture, schools and backgrounds and language barriers. If they can achieve this in just 8 hours, can you imagine what they can do if they put their mind to it with the rest of their lives?
Wow, that was stunning. And we like to welcome Karen Bird to our Mahala show. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Rhoda. You know, that was like so nostalgic. Watching that, I was like, no, that's so awesome. I had like a whole memory down memory lane watching that. Thank you. That was a surprise for me, and I just feel wow, it was beautiful. I got tears in my eyes.
It is really good having you here with us today on Mahala Monday. And thank you so much, Karen, for joining us. But firstly, and kudos to you, because you if anybody has to look the word amazing in a dictionary, I'm sure there's like a picture of you right there.
Totally.
Yeah, that whole page will be dedicated to you.
Go stop it.
That's what we do. That's what we do. But you are here with us today. Inspired Stages.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get straight into it. Why? How did it start? What's the reason behind Inspired Stages?
As a mother, you have children, and definitely Inspired Stages is like a child for me. But I'll tell you how it was born. You mentioned at the beginning of the show High School Jam, and it's probably, I always say it's like High School Jam is like a rugby game on steroids. It takes place at the Grand Arena every year. We sell out to 6,000 people and could probably sell out about 3 times over if we were able to. But Inspired Stages actually came from High School Jam, and after High School Jam one year, Ben Sanderson from Elsie's River High came to me, and he said to me, he says, Kay, he says, we've realized that our kids are coming to school literally because they want to take part in High School Jam every year, which those of you that don't know, but High School Jam is a musical performing arts showcase that takes part, competition really between the high schools in the Western Cape. And he said, we need something in between High School Jam each year that is going to keep our kids coming to school. So I sat down with Gav Taylor from Grand West at that stage, and we had a cup of coffee, and we just said, okay, our youth really are needing something that is inspiring them, that is motivating them, that's empowering them, that is enthusing them. And so that was literally the beginning of Inspired Stages. And we've then made sure that Inspired Stages has been the interim lead up into High School Jam each year. But it evolved way bigger than what I initially imagined. And I think obviously because there was a need, and there was a response to a need, and organically it's grown in the way that bigger than we ever believed. So that's really where Inspired Stages came from.
Yeah, you know what?
Elsie's River High. Elsie's River High. They are the culprits.
They're the ones that launched it all. And I suppose this is it, because those of us who have been fortunate enough, and like you said, especially with High School Jam, you could sell it out 20 times over. I mean, this is, dare I even say, this is something in my mind that is like Olympics. This is prop, and it's at that level. So make no mistake about it. It is at that level. As somebody who's witnessed it on more than one occasion. But so Inspired Stages get born out of that because of an immediate need. Now, that just doesn't happen overnight, because your background, and just to put the viewers in a sort of give them the frame of reference, your background, Karen, because this is what you do.
So I wouldn't even know where to start, but let me sort of get the side of my background that's more associated to High School Jam and Inspired Stages. I originally had a production background, really. My background was really big fashion shows, events, and performance, really, in terms of staging things. And it was never for a long time my passion. My passion from about 20 years ago actually was in life coaching, was in upliftment of individuals, whether it be teenagers, adults, it didn't really matter, but it was in life coaching. And I then went into transformational coaching, which is what I do now. But I then used every opportunity I possibly could to match my passion, which is my life coaching, with my skill, which is my production. So that's really my background, is that you got to pay me a lot of money to do a show, but if I can put some life coaching in there, then I'm there. It's just, I think, and that's really what Inspired Stages is all about. It's about harnessing our purpose and our passion in this lifetime, so that it never feels like we're working. So that's really, I had a sneaky hidden agenda that I just needed to match what I really wanted to do with what I could do. So that's really what it's all about. It's quite selfish, actually.
But if I may, because I know Rhoda's going to ask you questions, but I got to tell you this. You have just hit the apex, like on the first question in the interview saying you got to marry your passions. You got to combine your passions. That's it.
And you know, Dougal, when I am coaching my clients now, my adult clients, one of the things that I always work on is, do you know your why in life? What is your why? Why are you here? And adults, big corporate guys sit there, go, sheesh, I've got no damn idea why I'm here. I don't know why. I get up every day and I do what I've been doing. Yeah. My teenagers have surpassed my adults in the race. They've got left behind because my teenagers are learning early in life that we have to live a life aligned with our purpose and our passion, and purpose and passion are obviously very different from each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we can't always be making a career out of our passion, but if we align it with what our purpose is, whatever that might be, and we try and put in some of our passion, we have a much different experience of life, actually.
That is so true. I must say I'm inspired. And Karen, I must say exactly where you're at where the youth is concerned. And the areas, obviously, I mean, Elsie's River. And I've watched also, this your high school jam as well. And it is on steroids. And I loved it. And my daughter as well went to a school that also had the high school jam. And this was a highlight of their year because these kids worked so hard getting there. And you know what I'm loving about this is a lot of schools that's forgetting the performing arts, they're forgetting this drama, and that is so vital to balance these kids out at the end of the day, because you know what, at the end of the day, not everybody is doctors, not everybody is out to be lawyers or things like that, because your passion, like you spoke about it, is what needs to come out. And I'm loving the fact that this is what you guys do. So can I ask you then, what is the essence of your mission statement that you have done at Inspired Stage? What's your mission statement?
Our mission statement, I think, really is inspiring life inspiring on and off the stage of life, really. So, we use the stage as a metaphor, but life is really our stage. So we really want to turn our everyday lives into a stage where we are at our best, where we are giving our best, where we are applauded, where we are cheered by people that appreciate us. So it's not just, although obviously, we look at a stage and we think, and at a high school jam stage, but Inspired Stages really is about taking that euphoria that you feel there and making it forever. And that's really, when we look at high school jam and we look at Inspired Stages, the diversity there, our hashtag on everything is Inspired to Unite. And the performing arts, whatever it is a place where it doesn't matter where we come from, doesn't matter about our skin, our gender, our sexuality, doesn't matter what it is. Music and performing arts has this ability to unite across all boundaries, across all barriers. And that really is, we learn so much from each other in that, in that playing field. And that's really for us is really what's important, is the diversity of what we manage to incorporate into Inspired Stages and into High School Jam.
Sure. Wow. And Karen, let me just take you back. So high school jam, successful, brilliant. You said it yourself. That let's blame the gentleman at Elsie's River that spoke to you about it. Now Inspired Stages get born. And in your mind, I'm assuming here, you think to yourself, well, we can maybe unearth some amazing talent in the process, but that is the one side of it. The other thing is that you are thinking immediately, let's inspire the young ones to do better. And now you're touching on it, where you're saying that the performance arts, because performance arts really unleashes all sorts of emotions. So there's a quicker togetherness across the board immediately. So when you started out, did you visualize, we're going to see a lot of talent coming through? And I mean, surely there was some excitement for that.
Yeah, Dougal, I think with projects like this, where there's authentic intention behind something, it can only succeed. It's not, and I didn't ever really visualize how big it would be and how tremendous it would be and the impact it would have. My vision was to give youth something that they were lacking, and my sort of hook was the performing arts. I know that the youth and our young people need the life skills, the coaching, those, in that area. You tell a young guy, listen, come and have this life skills, they'll laugh at you. They would think I'm mad in my cotton picking head. So my youth come because they think that this is just going to be a whole lot of dancing and singing. It is. But they realize when they are there that there's much, 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 much more that they are getting alongside it. And if you say to them at the end of the day, what is the biggest stuff you've got out of it? They will not ever say, I learned how to dance and I learned how to be cool and I learned how to, pop the right moves. They will always say, I learned self-confidence, I learned to overcome this, I learned to work with this, I learned about working with people, I learned collaboration. Those are the things that are important. So we've got some amazing stories that have come out of Inspired Stages. I'm sure you'll get to those when you're ready.
I'm quite excited to hear those.
Yeah, we're quite excited to hear those. But Karen, just for all intents and purposes, take us through a workshop. So you sign up a number of youth. Where would they normally come from? What is the demographic of teenagers? And what happens in a workshop? And who does it? Where does the mentors kick in? How does it all work?
How long have we got to go? Okay, so literally, if I was going to give it in an overview very quickly, where the kids come from is everywhere they come from. It's normally our workshops are actually sponsored by Sun International and various other sponsors. So we manage to keep the entry into Inspired Stages very, very, very minimal so that it's affordable for absolutely everybody. And our kids come from townships, they come from far and wide, and you literally, once they've been to a workshop, you have to struggle to keep them away again. So they will come back and back and back, which is why some of the workshops have been about 1,000 people, 1,000 teenagers at one time we had in one space. And I remember once a security at Grandway saying, Karen, are you mad? We can't have 1,000 teenagers running around here. And I just said, just watch. And when teenagers are given the right forum and the right space to actually do something that's important for them, teenagers are just awesome. We underestimate how amazing they are. So typical workshop will be a combination of life coaching and performing arts. We'll always start off with group life coaching. And there will be themes. So today's theme will be around overcoming fear, overcoming doubt, overcoming criticism, jealousy, courage, whatever we're going to be working on that day. And then they have an option to choose one of 3 workshops. We break away into different workshops. They then have an opportunity to choose, I'm going to go to the singing workshop today. I'm going to go to the dancing workshop. I'm going to go to the musicians workshop. There's master classes there that are always run by industry icons, really. I mean, we've had Alistair Isabel running workshops for us. We've had Sophia Foster. We've had oh my goodness, we've had Kurt Darren, we've had just the most, Neil Benjamin's run musicians workshops for us. I mean, we've had Carl Peterson, we've had some real, Max Stanley even, they've run workshops. So they will come in and they'll run workshops for our youth. I mean, you can imagine choosing to go to a dance workshop and there's Rudy Smith or someone, like that, of that caliber, that's going to be running a masterclass for you. After those classes, there'll be life coaching again. And then everything leads up it's a week workshop, everything leads up at the end of the week. The ultimate goal is for the teenagers to produce their own showcase for an hour to perform to their family and friends. So that'll happen on a Friday night. So they've been with each other for 5 days. And they will have an opportunity now to perform a collaborative showcase on the Friday evening. They have to sell their tickets, which is a really nominal fee of like $20. They have to nominate a charity that all of their money goes to. So it's working together. It's overcoming a lot of fears. It's cutting out any form of needing to be of perfectionism. I mean, what kind of showcase can you put on? But those ones that you showed at the beginning of the show, those are some of the showcases, and they have to do it on their own without any adult intervention. So we don't get involved. They have to sort out their nonsense, and they do amazing things. Amazing things.
Sure. No, it does look like it, because also from the video we saw at the beginning, it is absolutely amazing, and not just amazing, but it's fun. I wanted to do it. I mean, I was doing, I was doing my moves here in the chair. But you know what? We've got several comments in from our viewers, and I just want to acknowledge them. So thank you very much to all of you posting comments, and of course, whatever questions you have at Nickay Productions, YouTube and Facebook. You've got the details there at the bottom, and also how's it to everybody on Clubhouse. Hope you guys are all cool. So Hubert Paulson says, good morning, guys. Great show. Every day of your life is another day to learn, and it certainly is.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what people at Inspired Stages is doing. Also, we got a message in from Heidi Edson, who says, hi there, Kay, especially to you. In the new normal, that is the way forward. Lots of love coming your way. Karen from Heidi, who says, brilliant concept. And of course, she's referring to the Inspired Stages and everything you do. Tanya Griff is saying hi. Wendy Ursula say, yours, Mama Kay. It's so good to see you. Big shout out. Everybody, Heidi is saying, love your work. And Tanya Tia Griff is saying, thank you, Kay. Inspired Stages is awesome. Thank you for all supporting the youth. And you know what? We can just add to that, because it just sounds like so much fun.
So
and these are
much
just
fun.
some of the comments so far. We will try our best to go through it. Now, Karen, just moving on quickly. So they do the showcase, but I mean, this is so much more, and you
So
touched
much
on it.
more.
Not only do you hone the talent that you have and that inclination where your passion lies, but now you interact with people who are performers. These are their careers. And all of a sudden, performing arts becomes a real career opportunity. Does that?
Of course, and it should be. You know, we must as adults stop this mindset that says that the performing arts isn't a real job. It can't be a real career. You know, it's a huge fear of parents and specifically parents. In areas where, you know, the mindset that you need to go to university and, you know, to get a degree in something to be able to be a successful person. I know many people with university degrees that are the saddest people that I possibly know. And I know people that don't have any degree but are working in their passion field and are working in their purpose. And they managed to make sustainable careers out of that for themselves. So, you know, once again, it's a mindset. If you're taught that you can't ever make that a career, you believe it. If you are taught that you can make a career out of anything, as long as you learn to hustle, as long as you learn to be the best at it, as long as you learn to hone your craft, as long as you learn to be, you know, the top of your game, why can't you be, as long as you learn to be innovative and entrepreneurial around it? These are things that can make anything a career. You know, so I am on the fence that says, if you want something badly enough, go after it, do it, make it happen, and don't wait for somebody else to make it happen for you. Don't wait for a handout from somewhere. You know, you've got to do the dirty work, and there comes incredible careers. So yes, I do think the performing arts is given a back seat. I mean, we know this from COVID times. It's been the industry that suffered the most. But I watched some of my youth from Inspired Stages, and they've been cracking on. You know, they don't know how to take no for an answer, and that's what they learn on Inspired Stages. Like, you know, no means how many ways in different directions can I get you to say yes. So, but you know, you end up saying yes to them because they are exhausting. You know, they just don't know how to stop. They're like a 2-year-old.
So I want to come back because Mama Kay is coming up all the time. And I'm loving this Mama Kay. And you know what? And just listening to Mama Kay, there's so many of these kids, I do believe it obviously comes from homes and backgrounds where they actually don't see that they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm thinking, and what I'm seeing Inspiring Stages is doing is inspiring these kids to tell them that you can become something. And what I'm loving, Karen, is the fact that you're laying the foundation for the age of our youth, because this is exactly where we need to get them to be able to go into the workplace, go into the arts, go into the fields, and even the accounting, doctors, whatever, even if they at Inspired Stages get the basics of saying life skills, how to deal, like you mentioned a few workshops you guys deal with is emotions, love, hurt, probably bullying as well, because this is stuff that most of the times the school actually don't concentrate on, is life skills. They teach you biology, geography, accounting, maths. That's not necessarily your life skills. And I'm loving the fact that you're saying that the kids, and this is what you're doing, we can't wait on government to make those changes with our children. Inspired Stages is exactly doing what everybody else out there should be doing, Dougal. Is getting to our communities and actually inspiring them exactly the way Inspired Stages is doing this. I'm loving it.
You know what, and you just to add to that, you are doing that in abundance. And anybody who's watched this episode for the last 20 odd minutes that we've been on air would know that straight away. And I actually want to pop in there just a comment to add to what you have said, because this has just come through, and it's from JD Collins. JD, thank you so much for that. It says, you've taught endless people, and this is now you, Kay. You've taught endless people how to be their true selves. Money can never buy that. Never. You have paid it forward and continue to do so. So thank you for shaping my life and the lives of thousands and thousands of other people as well. You are absolutely amazing. And that passion.
Dougal, let me just, sorry to interrupt you, but let me just jump in there on JD that's just popped that message. So JD is actually one of our Inspired Stages mentors. And I always refer to her as my little mini me, but she's actually better than I could ever be, if I'm honest with you. And she has a beautiful story. She went to university and she absolutely hated university. And while she was at university, she decided to leave university and she decided to work alongside, she wanted to work alongside me and literally do what I do. So she's always had this dream that she's taking over Inspired Stages, and she actually is Inspired Stages. And she always says that she dropped out of university, but she dropped into life. Wow. And I always love that she says that. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, you're a university dropout. She says, no, I just dropped into life, and I just dropped into doing what, you know, I knew what would make my heart sing. And, you know, that for me is very powerful. So yeah, that's JD's one of my Inspired Stages mentors, and incredible young woman.
No, it is because you know what, I want you to start wrapping your mind in, because there is something that's coming up. I mean, there's the underlying thing. We're talking passion, we're talking purpose, and I look at myself. Well, I think of myself as reasonably somebody who can sort of dissect things and look at it like an intellectual purpose, but obviously based from my lived experience, which is the most important thing. But when we look at the words, because it's not the same thing, passion and purpose, it's not the same thing, as you defined as well on the top of the show. How do we define that for somebody watching now? Like you said earlier, a grown person working in the corporate field, they've got no idea why they're at the job, but they're there. Yeah. How do we define that? So, because the teenagers are doing it, the youth you're working with.
Yeah. And, you know, Dougal, I mean, I always say to adults is that we underestimate our youth. Our youth, when you give them the platform to evolve, to create, to inspire, to come up with solutions, they are unbelievable. They are so brilliant. But you know, we don't give them that opportunity enough. So the difference for me between passion and purpose is, passion is that thing that's inside of us that just it sets our soul on fire. It's something that we love to do. So performing arts, music, singing, dancing, those sorts of things will definitely be part of a passion, right? A purpose is your reason why you are here. And I always use it's your why. My why is to ... so that ... So my why, my purpose is to inspire others to be the best versions of themselves, so that they will inspire others to do the same. And together we have an impact on making the world an incredible place. That's my purpose. My passion is my coaching. It's my talking. This is my passion. My passion is that. So passion and purpose, when we differentiate them, but as long as we can put as much of our passion into why we are here, that is incredible. Now, people that are in love with the performing arts, you don't necessarily have to be on a stage to be able to be bringing that into your purpose. You can still be doing it in other different ways. So, just because you feel I can't make money out of being a dancer, find ways that you can bring what dancing does into your, into whatever career you have. Or if you're not able to make that your purpose, make sure that you are at least including as much of your passion in your everyday life as possible, because that way our souls are always on fire. Our souls are never dying. Yeah. And that's what we want. Many people are just going through the paces of life, and they're not living their best lives at all. Oh, yeah. And that for me is what we need to change.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Love it, love it. Yeah. And you owe it to yourself to live your best life. You owe it to yourself. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Yes, Rhoda.
Yeah. So we've got a clubhouse going at the moment, and we've got Hubert that's on the clubhouse at the moment wanting to say something. Hubert, are you there?
Morning, Hubert.
Yes, I am.
Morning, Hubert.
Good morning, everybody, and good morning, everybody. Morning, Mama Kate.
Mama Kate.
Listen, you've got to get onto this bandwagon, eh? I came in late at the show, so I missed quite a big part of the introduction. But they say, and this is a question for Mama Kay, they say if you can't pay it back, pay it forward. Has there been any success stories of the youth that's gone through the programs, has actually gone, and I apologize in case you might have mentioned it, that's maybe gone and made something of what they've learned, and they've come back to almost pay it back or pay it forward, if I can say.
Hubert, thank you for that question. I get goosebumps all over when you say that, because I can't wait to tell you all the success stories. And pay it forward is, and I love it that you bring that up. So thank you very much, because pay it forward is the philosophy of Inspired Stages. Because we do everything on Inspired Stages through sponsorship, our youth are able to attend with very, very, and when I say minimal, I'm talking like not even double figures contribution to be able to attend a week's workshop. And the reason that we do that is that we say to them, whatever you've received from us now, you must always pay forward. That is our Inspired Stages philosophy. So we have huge success stories that have paid it forward. I mean, one of our very first workshops was attended by a young lady called Rolene Bosman. She was at Elsie's River High at the time, and I mean, she's gone on to be top of the charts, #1. She's performed with Nasty C. She's done. I mean, she has her own label out. At the moment, she's just done phenomenal work, and she is a huge inspiration to many of our youth. People like Keanu Harker, he was on The Voice, and wow. I mean, he's a massive inspiration as well. He is now also one of our mentors. Jean Peter, he won the KFM singer-songwriter competition. He also now comes back as one of our mentors. Colleen Slater, she has a dance group now called Tenacity Movement. Matthew Carter, he has a group called the Carters, and they've done phenomenal performances. Wow. So, Matthew Power as well. He won. I want to just get it right here. He came first, second, and third in the Croatia Dance Star World Champs. So, I mean, those are just a few of our amazing youth that have gone on, and also one of our we had a group of boys that met on our very first workshop. They were all from a few of them were from Belhar, and then a couple of them from other high schools. And they got together during, I remember Rory he'd never read music in his life before, and he was on keys. And they now have formed a group called Signature SA, and they've played alongside for all the biggest musicians. I mean, they play for Karen Coquier and Robin Peters, and wow. I mean, those are my little guys that were just these little guys. guys, and they're huge men now. Yeah, I get very emotional when I speak about all of them, but yes, but to answer your question, they all pay it forward. I can't keep them away from workshops, to be honest. They will arrive without even an invitation. That's how much they want to pay things forward.
Well,
I just look up and I say, "Oh, why are you here? We didn't ask you. No, we just came anyway." So it's always just like that. It's a family. You know, Inspired Stages always refer to it as this is our family. We don't necessarily have to have blood to be part of a family, and they build that unity together.
That is, you know what? That's basically why they call you Mama K. Let's be honest. That there you have it, man. That's why it is like it. And I mean, just for disclosure purposes, I must tell you this. So Keanu Yahaka, I've worked with him many times, and not once. And I've worked with the best in the business. I got to be honest. That's why I sit next to Rhoda. Signature essay, as you've mentioned. This is just two of the people of the acts you've mentioned. I've walked into the stage and you have all these Grammy Award winners next to you. Not once have I ever thought, at the time, I knew a little bit about them. But I know the ones that I thought, oh, this is somebody who came through Inspired Stages or anything like that. I mean, everything around their performances was out of this world, was beyond belief. It was with purpose, it had the passion, it was incredible. And probably the highlights of those events. So and that I'm just saying, as somebody also watching it, but also somebody working those specific events. So just as a disclosure, I need to say that it is absolutely brilliant. And these are just some of the success stories, Karen. These are just some. This is just like a little bit.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
You know, Dougal, I mean, I can't even mention half of them. I mean, you know, they all have just, there's really so many stories. I mean, we've got one young girl, Brittany, she went off to the New York Film Academy. She got offered an opportunity there. You know, there's just, I think what comes with it is that they have this incredible self-belief after they've been with Inspired Stages, is that our youth really believe in their unlimited potential. And you know, that is just so beautiful, because I do find that youth that haven't been with us on these sorts of workshops, they really their belief in their capabilities and their confidence and their courage is very, very, very limited and very, very small, instead of the mindset that just says like, wow, you know, this is I can do anything, and they can if it's what they want.
Yeah.
Can I then just touch quickly, because I'm hearing right through our conversation, mentors. What is the mentor program? What is it all about?
So our Inspired Stage mentor program actually once again came organically, just because, and it wasn't the vision at all, but twofold really. It started off once my teenagers were not teenagers anymore. So they'd sort of finished school, they were 18, 19, and now they weren't of Inspired Stages age anymore. But they keep wanting to come back. So I then created a program where they actually became mentors. So they went through a mentor program, which in essence really is a leadership program.
Yeah.
Okay.
And their skills that I taught them was very different. It was there were things like conflict resolution. There were things like, you know, win-win outcomes. Obviously, you've got a lot of teenagers. There's a lot of heated arguments that happen, and opinions and egos and all those sorts of things. And so they really learned leadership. And I realized very quickly that once I started having my mentors on the workshops, is that they were a very different energy to what I bring. So they were able to be more relatable for the youth. They came from the same communities as a lot of the teenagers. They understand the struggles, and also the teenagers started looking up to them in a way. So they just became great role models, I guess, and you know, just beautiful people that would actually inspire further than what I could inspire. So. Yeah, you know, that's how, and it's a great honor to be a mentor. You know, everybody, the teenagers all ask, you know, when can I be a mentor? When can I be a mentor? So, you know, we're obviously very mindful of who we select to be a mentor. It's not for everybody. But they are incredible because problems will come up during the workshop, and I always have the philosophy: come and tell me once you found the solution to it, to the problem. Don't come and bring me the problem and ask me to find the solution. And they're brilliant. They come and say, "Oh, Mama Kay, there was this and there was an argument here, and we sorted it out like this." And I'm like, yes, When I'm not needed anymore, that means my work is done, and I really am not needed anymore. If I'm honest, they can run workshops without me quite comfortably now.
You the oxygen and the blood of it all. Trust me, man.
Oh yeah.
But Karen, let me ask you this: the importance of real life skills, and of course something that is super important, the entrepreneurial spirit, that mindset for the youth, because this is something that comes through very strongly during these workshops.
Dougal, it is absolutely critical. You mustn't get me started on the curriculum that the Department of Education puts out in high schools. Don't even let me get started there. That will get me arrested. But I really do believe that long before we can learn geometry and maths and physics and history and English and anything along those lines, the fundamental life skills, and I'm not talking about what they teach in life orientation, which is very wishy-washy, the fundamental life skills in order for us to not survive life, but to thrive in life, is critical. And if we learn these things early enough, we have the opportunity to hands down become phenomenal, incredibly successful, grounded adults, have beautiful relationships with partners, and to have a great life. And I think it's well documented the problems that our youth face, drugs and alcoholism and gangsterism and pregnancy and eating disorders. These are the symptom of a much greater problem. Those are not the problems. They are a symptom of the greater problem. And the greater problem is loss of identity. Who am I? Where do I belong? Why am I here? Those are when we don't have an identity and we don't have the answer to these questions, we then look for somewhere to belong. And when we don't understand how to cope with rejection, how to cope with we're all going to get rejected. Is it something that we use to work for us, or do we use it to work against us? How do we navigate these these clubs that we get given in life, and how quickly do we get ourselves up, or do we stay down there? So that for me is what the fundamentals of life skills are, and these are the things that many adults never learn in a lifetime. And my teenagers and my mentors are like acing life at a young age. And I think when we have the fourth industrial revolution coming up now, and there's all the artificial intelligence that's so prevalent, we need to be working with the empathy and creativity and entrepreneurial mindset and solution-driven way of thinking. That's what's going to set us up for success, not all the other stuff that we're learning.
You see, that is why we got Karen Burt on the show.
That's why we got Karen.
That's why we got her.
We need to clone you with this new industrial revolution that's happening. We want 100 more of you, because I do believe this is the solution to our problems for our future. Because this, as you said, the state that things are going now, social media, kids are stuck in their phones, they're looking down in their phones, they're not talking, they're not interacting. And obviously with Inspiring Stages, with the workshops, this is teaching them basically to be able to communicate, talk. I have a problem, I need to speak about it. Now these days, the kids, I believe, ghost each other on their cell phones and ghost each other, Dougal. They ghost each other. So it's like the new norm now, which is not supposed to be the new norm. We're supposed to be interact. I just say, Dougal, I love you. Dougal, I hate you. But, resolving those issues at the end of the day. So hats off to you, Karen, for doing this. And you know what? You've cloned yourself with your mentors. That's exactly what I wanted to say. You've cloned yourself with your mentors.
And that is proper. But wait, When you now said you love me, hate me, is that ghosting me? I don't know. But Karen, just to move on, because I wanna. There's 2-3 questions I wanna ask you, and I know we already taking so much of your precious time, and we could talk to you for another 2 days solid. Let's be very honest. But one thing I want to ask you: when we look at these youth programs, of course, looking at the sort of shortfalls and the skills that we need to apply for the youth, because I can tell you now, there'll be grown-ups looking at this and they go, "Listen, I need to go speak to Karen Burke. I need to get in touch with this lady."
So true.
You know, I'm a young adult, or I've got children that want to get into it. How do I do it? I mean, earlier you mentioned that you've got different programs running, and there's different mentorship and things happening as well. And do you and the adults one, is it just as intense, just as good?
It's more intense because they got more shit that I've got to sort out. And I mean that most sincerely. But you know, I mean, we are not actually ever any different. And if I'm honest, you know exactly what I put my youth programs through. I run programs for schools, for the teachers. I run programs for corporates. With adults there, and it's exactly the same principles. Really, is that we all forget what is at the root of who we need to be as human beings, and we've never really been taught how to be good human beings. You know, we've taught what our parents had passed down to us, but some of that's a bit questionable. Hey, so. You know, we just it's that what an adult needs is possibly even a little bit more intense than what youth need, because there's a lot more underneath all of that. There's a lot more, traumas and old belief systems that haven't been serving us, and diversity blocks that haven't been serving us, and judgment of others that haven't been serving us. So it's exactly the same. I mean, my adults, a lot of it is one-on-one coaching that I do with them. So it's or otherwise it's groups where the opportunity arises.
I know our time is limited, but there's 2 things I want to do. I want to touch base with the comments as well, but I know you said right in the beginning there was High School Jam, brilliant, fantastic, Inspired Stages just sort of grew out of that, and now Inspired Stages is just doing amazing, inspiring youth, turning youth, just doing workshops into people really pursuing it as a career. But it is done with so much passion and enthusiasm and acumen that we're all looking at it going, well, I want to be there. I want to be there. This is what it's about. But I quickly just want to jump back to High School Jam. Man, heads down. Wow. If somebody has never seen it, quickly just tell them what it is.
It's a rugby game on steroids. That's what it is. So high school jam, and we're heartbroken obviously because we weren't able to have it last year. And last year was our 10th birthday. So we weren't able to have it for the first year last year, and then obviously this year still with COVID, we're not able to have our big events like that. So it's super sad for us. Really, we all very very heart sore, but we will be back for sure. We're not going to be in this space forever, and by then we'll be even better. High School Jam in a nutshell is it's 10 high schools that each are given an opportunity. So they submit proposals of how they would entertain the Grand Arena in a 30-minute show, and they are then accepted in terms on their proposals, and the school then puts on a performance, a musical performance, how they would obviously entertain the Grand Arena. That's the only judging criteria, is was it entertaining for the Grand Arena. So it doesn't matter if it's a school from a low sort of income stream or a high income stream. It's an equal playing field, which is brilliant. And they then all arrive on one day, and they each get given 30 minutes. So it runs from 10 until 8 at night, and it's a 30-minute show, 30-minute changeover, 30-minute show, 30-minute changeover. And I think probably about 1,200 teenagers in that day perform. people have got their banners and their vuvuzelas, and there's always a spirit award as well for the school that brings the most spirit. So, you'll get the Elsie's camp and the Palfalay camp and the Livingston camp and the Edgemead camp, and there's, but at the end of the day, what happens is that our message to the families really is that it's inspired to unite. So we really encourage the audience that it doesn't matter if your kid's not at that school, but let's celebrate those kids while they're on that stage and let them know that we see them, that we love them, we appreciate them. Our sign at Inspired Stages is this, which says, I see you, I love you, I've got you. So if you ever look at photographs of Inspired Stages, they will always use this. Gosh, that looks funny on the screen, but anyway, I see you, I love you, I've got you. It looks like that. So if someone does this to you, and they always say to me, but Mama Kay, that's the gangster's sign.
Oh,
one of the gangsters' sign. And I always say, you know what, let the gangsters try and take that from us. So that's what High School Jam is all about. It's just a really feel good. Obviously, there's cash prize money that that Grandwest puts in and gives to the winners, but there's also individual acknowledgement on the days. So we'll sort of announce the best dancer and the best singer and the best drummer and a whole lot of things. But
listen, I've got to be honest with you, it is absolutely amazing. There's only several things you see from the moon. Wall of China, New York City lights, and the amount of gears you can see from the moon around High School Jam. It is wow, like really wow. I just want to quickly touch base on one or two comments, just go through all of it. And Hubert, thank you again for your comment out of Clubhouse. Hubert adds to that, they say there aren't power like the power of youth, because the power of youth don't stop. And that is really what it is all about. Alfonso has added to that, this is an awesome initiative and we need more individuals inspiring our youth, exactly as to how you have been doing. And just to see if there's any other comments on the Facebook, that is it. So our screens are cleared on that side. But that is really it from me.
That's it.
I've got no more questions. All I can say is just thank you.
Thank you.
And we're getting you back. And then after that, we're getting you back. And then there'll be another back. And
a few times.
It's happening, man. Come now. You know it is. Do you have any questions for Rhoda? She's got a lot of answers.
For Dougal. He's the entertainer.
I want to know from both of you. Are you on purpose? Are you living your purpose? Come on, let's put you on the block here. My why is to Dougal go. My why is
my
to
why is
dot.
Can I go first?
You go for it.
Can I go first? Yeah. Because exactly to what you said, you doing this, that is why we do Mahala Monday. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing it. And the one thing has led to another thing. All of a sudden we're doing, you know what, you walk down a certain road, you don't know the turnoffs, you don't see it at the time. You know you're heading there. But as you walk past, you're like, oh, here's another thing. And all of a sudden this becomes really interesting because the passion is there, the enthusiasm is there. Oh no, it's never been better. This is the purpose. This is the purpose, and the why is constantly growing. It's becoming bigger all the time. All of a sudden we want to do more. Now all of a sudden 24 hours is too little in the day. I've got to be honest with you. This is my problem.
This is our problem. So our why is exactly this, Mahala Monday, putting those messages out there, and that is our purpose.
Beautiful.
You're making the show longer now.
Say again?
You're making the show longer now.
Okay, I'm done.
Mama Kay, how do the people out there, how do the principals of schools get hold of you? How do parents get hold of you guys? How do you get hold of Inspired Stages?
They can reach me on my email address, which is Karen, Karen, at Luminosity, luminositylab.org. Our website is www.luminositylab.org. Inspired Stages is got an Instagram account at Inspired Stages. There's a Facebook page at Inspired Stages, and then my Instagram is at KarenBurt_. So any of those ways, we're out there and ready to receive you in whichever way we can.
Oh, beautiful.
Karen, that's all from our side. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you are Superman busy. levels like celestial busy. I know that, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of this, and more importantly, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being that light bringer to this cause. Thank you for inspiring a generation. I think you, and I know you're going to get emotional about this, and rightly so, because this is just amazing. And that is why hundreds, thousands of people call you Mama K. Keep doing what you're doing. It is absolutely amazing. If anything, we need you in multiples, like Rhoda said earlier.
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing. Inspired Stages and everything around it is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
So well done. Well
Dougal,
done.
thank you so much for having me, and Rhoda, thank you to you as well. And thank you for bringing your passion into sort of opportunity that opens it up to others. And that's really that whole thing that Hubert was saying about paying it forward, is that, I pay it forward, you pay it forward, we're all paying it forward, and that's going to make us just an awesome nation that we can all be very, very, very proud of.
Definitely.
Karen
That's
Burt,
what
everybody.
Inspired Stages.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Bye.
I wasn't
Thank
sure
you.
which way it is. That's Karen Burt, everybody. You know what? Thank you once again to Karen for being here. Amazing stuff. And more importantly, thank you very much for all your comments and questions that came through. Absolutely brilliant. But this is one of the episodes that you really got to share with the whole world.
Oh, most
You really
definitely.
got to share it with the whole world. So there's so many things
Inspire
we
the
touched.
world.
There's so many things she touched on.
Dougal, there's so many, and I think this show was far too short, actually. For
That's a
cover
masterclass
everything.
there.
No, that's a masterclass. That is exactly, what
Yeah.
we need in our world, and like she says, to make a change in our world, the world.
She didn't wait for any institution. She didn't wait for any authoritative figure, a government or anything like that. She saw a gap, and this is what Karen Bird does. She saw it, and she does. And it's to the point. I mean, we've asked billions of guests, ask us a question as a joke. The woman puts us on the spot and go, what's your purpose, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Ooh, yeah, it's coming.
No.
This is what it's about.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go, you got to be the change. You got to be the inspiration. You got to do it. She's got a certain skill set, and she's applied it. She's living her passion. She's got out there with purpose. I mean, what better thing do you want? And it's absolutely amazing. So what you got to go check out. So on Instagram and on Facebook, go check out Inspired Stages. They do absolutely amazing things, of course, and which is just phenomenal. And then you go to www.luminositylab.org is the website to find out all the details you want, of course, if you want to get into touch with Karen Burt as well. That is it from me, Rhoda. I'm done.
That's it. Just a quick one to the parents
I'm going to
out
slouch
there.
down. I'm
Oh, you're
tired.
going
Yeah, I'm
down
tired.
there. Oh, he's mentally tired now. For the parents out there, guys, you know what? There is a performing arts out there. If your kid is brilliant at, making jokes and basically dancing or singing, or you know what, at the end of the day, have a chat to them. Don't think at the end of the day they must become the doctor, they have to be the lawyer, they have to go to the university. Sit down and have that chat to them. Ask them their why at the end of the day.
Yeah, those are the biggest things we've got to live with. And more importantly, it is Youth Month, and that is exactly what we do. We've got to inspire the youth. We inspire a generation, and then everybody is happy.
Happy. That is so.
As simple as that. That is it from us here for Mahala Monday today. Thank you very much for watching this. Once again, thank you very much to our special guest. Thank you to Karen. Thank you to all the comments and questions that we had. Thank you to you, Rhoda.
And thank you to you, Dougal.
Yes, pleasure. It certainly has been. Please remember, she always to say you got to like it and then
Share, and don't forget subscribe and hit that bell.
all of that. Look after yourselves and everybody around you. Cheers.
Bye.